Suppose you had the following on a test. Write the following scales, okay? And we have A harmonic minor, E flat harmonic minor, and D harmonic minor. And I'll show you a couple ways to do these because there's more than one way, and you can figure out which way works best for you and use that to your best advantage. The way I do it is I simply just write it, but until then, you can do different steps to figure it out. So we're going to start with using the major scale. And we'll do like 3 different ways for the first one, and then maybe do that for each one and see how that goes. Okay, so major scale. We're going to start with the major scale, and then we're going to simply make the parallel. So remember, we take our major scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, and then we simply flat the 3 and the 6. Okay, that'll make the harmonic minor scale. Okay, so A major looks like this. If we were to start, let's go ahead and do this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A up here. Now, if you have the major scale, we take A major, go down a half step. That gets us G sharp. We count fat, cats, go. So F, C, and G are sharped. F, C, and G are sharped. Just like that. And then we simply flat the 3rd and flat the 6th, which means that we simply get rid of, let's see, we can do it this way. We simply get rid of this note, this sharp, and we get rid of this sharp. That brings them both down. Okay, so that flats the 3rd, that flats the 6th. We don't touch the 7th, and we have a harmonic minor this way. Okay, so that's how we can do it from the major scale. Now we can do it from the that's the parallel. Let me define that as parallel major scale. Parallel major scale. We can also do it from the relative. We can do it from the relative major scale. And that simply gives us our key signature that we have to use. Okay, so we can do that to find the natural minor, and then we have to sharp the 7th. Sharp the 7th. Okay, so A minor is equal to, if we go up 3 half steps, there's A, there's B flat, that'll be enough. Okay, so here's A. 1, 2, 3 gets us C. So A minor is the same as C major. And C major, as we know, has no sharps or flats. So we simply write everything with no sharps or flats, starting on A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. And we simply sharp our 7th. Sharp our 7th. Like that. Okay? And then the final way, I guess, is kind of redundant, but the final way you can do it is simply write A minor, which we know also has no sharps or flats. Instead of finding the relative major, you could just memorize your minors as well, and then you simply raise the 7th. Okay, so that's 3 different ways to get harmonic minor in A. Okay, so I suggest you try at least one way on E flat harmonic minor to do the same thing. E flat harmonic minor is a little bit trickier. A minor is simply the easiest one because it's based on A minor, which has no sharps or flats. E flat harmonic minor is a lot trickier because there's a lot more accidentals to worry about. And D harmonic minor is my favorite for a very special reason, and I'll show you at the end when we get there. Okay, so do it yourself or do it with me, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and use treble clef again because E is low. E is here, so we simply write E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and E. And then we have E flat major has all the flats up to E flat plus 1 more. That gets us B flat, E flat, and A flat. B, E, and A out of bead, gum candy, fruit. And then we simply lower the 3rd and lower the 6th. Here's the 3rd, here's the 6th, and we're done. Okay, so that's how you can make it from the major scale and do it that way. Okay, so remember natural plus, I guess this is useful, natural plus a flat equals a flat, sharp plus a flat equals a natural. Okay, a flat plus, I guess this is for completion's sake, a flat plus a flat equals a double flat, and a double sharp plus a flat equals a sharp. Okay, hopefully you don't need much more than that. You can get into triples if you really wanted to, but that's kind of overkill. Okay, moving on. We have the relative major. We started with the parallel major, and now we're doing the relative major. If we take our E flats, let's go ahead and write a little keyboard down here. E flat, maybe that's D. We got E there, and then this is E. This is going to be F and G, F and G like that. Okay, so we have E flat going 1, 2, 3 gets us a G flat. Remember, we have to skip a letter, so we're keep counting E and G. We're skipping F. So this is going to be G flat major. G flat major has all the flats up to G flat plus one more, so that's B, E, A, D, and bead. Gum plus one more equals candy. Okay, so we have 6 flats. We get to write all those out. Let's go ahead and write our notes in. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and E. We're going to go ahead and flat our B. Might as well do this in order. B, E, A, D, G, and C. Everything but F. Now, there's another way you could have done this. You could have simply looked at this and said, well, the only flat that's not flatted is F, right? Bead, gum, candy, fruit. So you look at F, you say, oh, there's F, and then you just ignore it, and you flat everything else in succession, and that makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to keep ping-ponging around. Makes it easier. Okay, so then this is our natural minor. We still have to raise the 7th, and so all we do is get rid of this, make that a natural, and we have the same answer here. Okay, so that's 2 different ways to do that. Again, you could just memorize that E flat minor is 6 flats, and you start with like this, and you just write it out. This is kind of cool when you get to this level. You can just write out scales and scare people that have to do it the long way. You just write out your scale, and you're like, oh, and oh, by the way, that's natural because we're making harmonic, and you just write out your scale here. It's kind of cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and do one more with D harmonic minor. I suggest you do this one on your own if you didn't do the last one on your own, or you didn't do both these on your own. I really suggest you try this one on your own because the answer is kind of cool and it's really unique. So let's go ahead and as soon as I finish this one, it'll kind of spoil the surprise, but let's go ahead and do this one together. Let's use the salmon color. Okay, so we have D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D. Okay, so we have D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D. If we take D, go down a half step to find a sharp major key, we have C sharp. And then we count all our sharps for that one. That's fat cats, F and C sharp. So F is sharped and C is sharped. And then all we do is flat 3 and flat 6. So all we do is get rid of this one because that will flat the 3rd. And we lower this one. Now, if you look at this answer, this is a really cool scale because it actually has a flat and a sharp together. Every other scale we've seen up to this point only has either sharps or flats or nothing. This is the first and only scale so far that has a flat and a sharp. Every other harmonic minor, every other natural minor, every other major scale that you have does not have this quote-unquote phenomenon, which is kind of cool, right? So I like this scale a lot because it has a B flat and a C sharp in it. So let's do it this way and kind of touch on it this way, and we'll finish up here. Okay. So if you take the relative major of D minor goes up to here we go again anyway. So we got D here, so 1, 2, 3 gets us this note, and we skip the E this time, so we have F. This is an F, right? So we have F major, so go ahead and write D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and F is the first flat key, so it has the first flat, which is B flat in the order of bead, gum, candy, fruit. And then all we do is sharp that 7th, sharp the 7th, and you get our D harmonic minor scale. Same thing here. Again, if you know that D minor is just one flat, just like its relative, just like its cousin, F, you can simply write D, E, F, G, A, B flat. Raise the 7th by adding a sharp there, and simply finish off with D. So those are how you can write harmonic minor scales, several different ways to make sure that you know many different angles to get the same answer. This is also really good to do it a few different ways because you can check your work. And if this is on a test and this is required for points and you really want to pass, it's really good to be sure of your answer. Okay.